Hi everyone, so Mrekk, who is the best Osu player in the world, usually plays on full screen, right? So this is his screen, his gameplay is taking up all of that space. Recently though, he posted a clip where this was not the case. You see he's windowed Osu, so it's no longer taking up his full screen. And this here's going to be the topic of today's video. It's also worth me mentioning Mrekk has a flat monitor. If this was not the case, then what I'm about to say would be false. If my point in this video is going to be talking about why Mrekk finds this easier or why he plays better with it, then I first need to convince you that this is true in the first place. So simply put, my evidence for this is there was this map, Mrekk had 13 scores on it, and he set 2 more pretty much consecutively, and out of the now 15 plays, he set the first and third best. He also says, "I'm not even joking, this feels a lot easier, like I'm not joking." So I think I've got myself covered. I have good reason to believe that Mrekk enjoys playing like this or finds it a bit easier. I believe that it all comes down to the perceived sensitivity on different areas of the monitor. So here we have 2 cases, right? This here is Mrekk, this blue is his screen, and this green represents his playfield. So the fact here that the playfield is taking up less of his field of view is what I believe is giving him a slight advantage. So here's a really extreme example of this, right? So the size of the monitor in this case is maybe 5 times the viewing distance. So maybe if you have like a cinema at home or something, then this applies. But if not, this applies, but just to a lesser extent. So these points here just represent points on the screen, right? And they're all equally spaced so that one is the same distance from the previous and so on. And this means if you move your cursor, your tablet or your mouse a certain amount, it's going to move the same amount of these no matter where it is. So for example, maybe I move my mouse 1 centimeter and it moves one of these units. This is going to be true no matter where the cursor is on the screen. So whether it's in the middle, 1 centimeter, or if it's right on the edge, 1 centimeter, it's going to be the same distance here. However, if we look at the angle between the 2 points in terms of Mrekk's field of view, this is going to be vastly different near the center to right on the edge. And in short, this means that the same hand movement is going to give you a different apparent sensitivity when you move it, right? If I move it a certain amount here, it will move apparently quite a lot. And the extreme case where it's really, really far away, we could move it loads and it would only change by a tiny angle. The solution to this then is to obviously sit infinitely far away from your monitor. At that point, all of these perspective lines are going to be parallel to one another. So no matter if the cursor is really far on this edge or in the center, the same hand movement is going to give you the same perspective change in cursor movement. This could also be achieved with a curved monitor, right? So we're deliberately moving the points to be in our spherical field of view. Here are just a couple points that I think are worth mentioning. So firstly is that Mrekk was playing this map really, really well to begin with, even before doing this windowed thing. You know, he could play it before and he could play it after. He was only getting a few misses anyway. And as I said previously, we were only looking at 15 scores, so you should take that with a grain of salt. Another point is that the windowed mode is going to have more latency than full screen, which while it sounds bad on the surface, could potentially give him a more comfortable offset for tapping perfectly on the rhythm. So if he was, 5 milliseconds early before, then after maybe that would just be more comfortable for him. You could also say that the effective tablet area is going to be different, right? So whereas before he would have to actually move his cursor across the whole screen, now he only has this smaller size area to do that on. Especially for a map with fairly large circles like this one, this could be very beneficial. And you know, there's a million other things you could mention, like his eyes don't need to move as far, or maybe this point here gives him a reference point to click on the circles. I don't know, you could say a billion other things. These are just some that I've thought of. So no, if you sit further away from your monitor, I don't think you're going to turn into Mrekk, but here are just my thoughts on this video he posted. So hopefully you enjoyed. Bye bye.